If you have absolutely no experience in construction, that is not, you don't just wake up one day and decide you have an idea and then you're a contractor. I have said this on so many of our podcasts and I will say it again. You have to have experience or you have to hire someone with experience. And then if you hire someone with experience, you have to actually listen to them. Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Chicks in Construction. I'm your host, Mikki Paradis, and this is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Jessica Abreu.
And we are here today, as we are every episode, to help you, the homeowner or the potential homeowner, to learn about things that you wouldn't necessarily know, to help you have better experiences, I'm going to find my words, when you're hiring contractors, when you're doing a renovation, when you're replacing your roof, when you're adding an addition onto your house, whatever it is, when you have to delve into the wild world of construction, we want to arm you with the knowledge that you need to go forward and have a great experience. So that is what the podcast is about. And welcome to the Chicks Tribe. We love that you're here. We love having you here. We would love it if you would like and subscribe and, I don't know, leave a gently lovely comment.
Not a spicy one.
Not a spicy one. Do what you want. I just want you to know people can see the things that you comment. And also, it is not hard to find out where you live or where you work.
Yeah.
Take that as you will.
My goodness. So I have to tell you something.
I was like, what are we going to talk about today? And Jess was like, oh, I have a story.
So if you may or may not know, I do not have pets.
Yeah, Jess doesn't do. I have all the pets. Jess has none of the pets.
I have all the children.
I have none of the
She has
children.
none of the children. It works out.
It does. Yin, yang.
Yes. And like, it's not that I don't like animals. It's just that we are never home. And I don't want to be like, oh, I have to leave early because I have to go walk an animal, or oh, I can't go on vacation for 2 weeks because my cat will be by itself. No. But my youngest.
Yeah. She is hardcore pushing for a pet.
Oh my God.
Hardcore.
Like every day she makes me feel bad that we don't have one. Like every day. It's like, Mom, how good do I have to be to get a cat? Like right now,
there's no amount of good.
No, for the longest time, she wanted a dog. And I started getting all these cute little miniature dachshund videos on my Instagram feed. And like, I was slowly breaking down. I was like, oh, it's so cute.
I was part of the problem too. I was sending her all the reels. Look at this dog. Look at this dog. Look at this dog.
Yep. But now she is
joined my dog gang.
Yeah. Now she's like, oh, I want a cat. And I was like, and I think it's because my aunt has cats. So when we go visit her, which is like 2 times a year, she loves the cat. So being the great mom that I am.
You are a great mom. That's true.
I decided to take her to a cat cafe.
Love this.
Now, I am slightly allergic to cats, and I've been my whole life because my aunt has always had cats, and like sometimes I would go to her house and I break out in hives.
Oh, God.
And other times I'd be perfectly fine. Like we stay at her house and like she changes all of the bedding so that and closes the door so that there is no animal in my bedroom, so I don't have to worry about it. And just being in her house, like I don't get.
You're fine. Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Sometimes you almost die. It's a real shake of the stick.
Flip of the coin. What's going to happen to Jessica today? And I've been taking the supplements so that like my allergies aren't bad.
Yeah.
But now, when the idea of a cat cafe, like
cats be everywhere.
Yeah. I was like, well, so like, do you, because they serve drinks. And I'm like, so are like the cats where the drinks are being made? Because that's kind of unsanitary.
Oh, God. I have a story about that.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're in a separate room. So you have to wear socks, which, okay, great.
You told me about this. You had to like buy cat socks?
If you don't, so it's warm out. Like, luckily I knew that we had to have socks. But like, if you show up in flip flops and you don't have your own socks, you have to buy socks.
Cat
and they
socks.
all have cats on them. So like, when would you ever wear that again? Although people love cats. So, I mean.
Depends on if you're a cat person.
Which I am not. So we go into the rooms that the cats can be in.
Yeah.
And they are everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
you would think at a cat cafe they would be everywhere. You were hoping for like
I thought like
a
maybe there'd be
medium
like
density cat situation.
2-3 cats.
Cat to person ratio 1 to 2. Yeah, not so much.
Not
1
so
to
much.
18.
They were. I mean, it wasn't that bad. There was probably like 12, I think.
Wow.
But they had like
cats.
all of these things for the cats to be
towers.
on. Oh yeah, and hammocks and like these things that attach to the window.
Yeah. So they can like almost kill the birds, but not really. Just tempt them.
Yeah, and just like lay up
Be
there
like,
and just
here's
watch.
what you could have if you lived outside, but unfortunately you're an inside cat.
So I sit near a window that's open. Mm-hmm. Lovely. And I'm just drinking my drink, and there's a windowsill, so I put my drink down there. And now my child is in all of her glory.
Oh, she's living her best life.
She is living her best life, petting the cats, playing with the cat. She finds a hair tie and is like throwing it for the cat to like go chase like it's a dog. And so I had my cup on the windowsill, just
chilling.
sitting there. And I'm just sitting there. I'm taking a few pictures of her, and then I'm like, all right, well, she's playing. I'm going to scroll, on my
Mind your
phone.
own business, as one does.
As one does. And this cat
Cats are such dicks.
jumps up onto the windowsill and walks over to my cup and sticks its face.
No, it did not even.
So, like, it has a top on it. So it's like a to-go cup. But it stuck its face where I would drink out.
Oh, so it was actually trying to kill you.
It was like trying to. I was like,
it was a murder moment.
And
you're like, so that cup is gone. And it's not just because like the cat, it's not like we're saying cats are dirty. I don't know about cats like hygiene situation, but it's your allergies.
And like now I can't. I was like, so I'm like, I don't want to like
shoe fly.
I'm like, what? I don't want it to scratch me or hiss at me or like come at me. So
don't come for me, cat.
I'm like, no. Just like go.
No. Shoo. See, Jess is real nice. I'd have been like, boom. Move yourself. But I don't have cats. Listen, if you're a cat person, don't come for me.
We don't. And so I was like, okay, well, great. And it kept coming back.
It was like, no, I really want that coffee, man.
And it would, so like I'm sitting there just like cross-legged. So like when I'm like.
Oh, he wanted to lay in the lap.
No, he was batting at my foot.
Rude.
I was like, okay, so then I stayed still.
He was trying to play it with you, and you were just like, absolutely not.
Yeah, it was like, I know that you don't really like me. I'm going to make you like me.
Yeah, he was like, I really want to get adopted. She said, you're the one I have to convince. Here I am trying to convince you.
It was not happening.
Meanwhile, Jess is like, horrible. This is horrible.
I was like, when can we leave?
Can we leave? Why did I have to be such a good mom?
So then I start sneezing. As one does when
you're allergic to cats and you're with 18 cats.
And one of I think it was a grandfather had taken his granddaughter there, and he's like, oh, are you allergic? I'm like,
yeah, a little bit.
100%. That's why we don't have them. That's why I thought I would just take her here. This is our first time. He's like, oh, we've been here so many times, and she knows all the cats. And the girl literally did, like, she was naming all the cats because they have a book.
And meanwhile, Lana's watching all this going, really, Mom? I've only been here once, and she's been here 17 times and knows all the cats by name and their backstory.
Yeah. She's like, so when do we get to go again? And I was like,
never. Ask your dad.
She's like, do you think that you can take the cats home? I'm like, 100% not.
Yeah, no, they definitely live here forever. This is their forever home.
No, actually, you can rescue them. But
We're not telling her that. Or you'll have a cat. And an allergy problem.
I will not have a cat. I think if it was just one.
Yeah. You probably. So my sister is wild in these streets, and she's allergic to dogs and cats. Does she have 4 cats and 3 dogs? She does. Does she just always have allergies? She does.
No.
She's just like, listen, she's a true gangster. Like, she's just like, listen, I love a cat and I love a dog. And she does. She loves a cat and a dog. And she's got many of them. I
went home. I had to take my contacts out. I just threw them away.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just get fresh ones.
Be with the Lord.
And then I'm like, Lana, you need to change out of these clothes immediately.
And you're like, I will die if you don't change. And then you're definitely not getting a cat.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, get all of that fur. But yes, that is.
It's funny when you were talking about like the sanitation of the cubs, I immediately thought of, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think Hector and I were like made to be unsupervised. Like and most people, like there's one person who's
They're
not
not meant to be unsupervised. I'm going to let them watch my children.
That's a life choice. She asked me to watch her kids, and I was like, "Are you sure?" I mean, I'll do it, but like, are you sure?
We'll report back next week. See how it goes.
This is like the month of my friends asking me to watch their kids because my best friend Lori asked me to watch her kids, and I was like, "Okay." She came home and her youngest, who's like 4, she was fake crying. And I'm not a mom. I don't know what to do when you fake cry. I know what to do when my employees fake cry, which has actually never happened, but I'm prepared for it. I essentially did. So she's fake crying. And I was like, no, unless you can produce a tear, I'm not going to take this seriously. So then she produced a tear and she's like, see? And I go, okay, but I know that you're fake.
But I have it here.
Yeah, so like I'll do it, but like I don't know that you should let me watch your kids, but I'll do it, and I'll try to keep them alive with all the tries. I was like, should I bring Hector? He's probably good at like keeping the kids alive, so we'll see. We'll report back and let you know how it goes. But so like I've said it, we're normally like one person marries like a slightly incompetent person, and then together they become like a mostly competent person. And I'm not saying Hector and I are incompetent. We're just really good at like business and building things, but like housekeeping things is not where we shine. So we have a water cooler. We never keep anything in the house other than water, and not because we're like healthy. I don't want to trick you guys. I'm not healthy. It's not because like fitness is our passion or health is our passion. It's just like it's easy. So we have water delivered, so I don't have to go get it. It just shows up at the house like magic, and then somebody else, not me, puts the water in the cooler, and then the water is available. It's really just, again, because I'm not suitable for Gen Pop. It stopped working. So Hector takes it apart.
He's like, I have a piece of special trash that can fix this.
100%, which he actually did. So
of course he did.
It needed a pipe. And he's like, I got just the thing. He goes into the special trash shed. He brings out the pipe. It fits perfectly. And which is terrible because it like makes his special trash collection worse. When he sources an item in his special trash shed that fixes a problem that he did not have to go buy, it reinforces
that
how
he needs his
amazing the special trash is. And I'm like, absolutely nobody needs to enforce the collection of special trash with Hector. It's pretty solid. So, but when he takes it all apart, he was like, it was so dirty. It was so disgusting. And I was like, let's burn it.
Like the part that like is bringing like the water to you?
Yes. It was disgusting. And I was like, Liz, I didn't even think because again, we're not suitable for Gen Pop. We don't know about these things. Normal adults know you have to clean your water cooler.
How long have you had your water cooler for? Oh, do I not want to know?
You don't want to know. It's been a very long time. I just thought, it's water. It's fine. It's clean. Why would it? It was a problem. So Hector cleans it and fixes it. And he's like, oh, it's fine now.
Does the water taste different?
I won't drink out of it. I was like, don't bother fixing it. I'm not touching that. I'm buying a new one that hopefully has a self-clean feature. I would say I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about it. So it just is what it is. But yeah, like that's apparently if you have a water cooler, it needs to be cleaned pretty frequently. I'm just going to start over. I'm just going to burn it.
I'm like, do I want to drink from someone's water? Because like the one that you have, I have seen at
like
places
everywhere
that I go to.
Offices like it's like literally like one of the coolers that you would see. It's like the water cooler. It's that like we have that, and now I am never going to be the same. I'm never going to be the same.
I'm never going to be able to drink from it. No. And be like, when did you clean it?
Right.
Do you know Joe, you need to clean it?
When did you clean yours?
Joe's like,
never.
He's like, shoot. Are you drinking water from there? Don't die.
Don't die, guys. Like, apparently it was. So Hector didn't even take pictures of it because he knew that if I saw the pictures, I would probably never consume water again. And he knows that I need water to survive. And so he did not want me to see it. So he just told me it was bad. And I knew it was really bad when he didn't even take a picture. Because And I was just like, I can't. How am I alive? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So listen,
you weren't feeling good. There's your reason.
Oh, there we go. It's a fucking water cooler. Awesome.
All right.
So we have a story for you today, and I do have to preface some things for legal purposes.
Oh, Lordy.
One, the lawsuits in this case are still ongoing, so they have not been settled. So their fault has not been determined. By saying that, we are making sure that you, the audience, know that these are alleged claims. They have not been proven to be wrong. They have not been proven to be at fault. No harm has been proven. So we do want to be very clear that these are alleged, and that is for legal purposes.
So don't come for us.
Come for me, company. I will also say that everything we are sharing here came from a vetted New York Post article. Mm-hmm. So we're not even the first people to talk about it. So again, don't come for us. But it is a homeowner horror story that is based out of upstate New York. So just to set this up, one thing that's really interesting to me is that as technology continues to grow, one of the places that is really slow to adopt technology is construction. I always joke that the only industry that is slower to adopt technology than construction is the federal government. So like in construction, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's a bunch of, people that have been doing this since Jesus was a baby, and they've been doing it the same way, and they're going to keep doing it the same way, and they don't care that this new invention is going to make things better. So it is really tough to integrate technology into construction. I actually have one of my many side hustles is I consult for companies that are integrating technology into construction, because one thing that is very, very common is the tech bros of the world will come up with this brilliant idea because we're so slow to adopt new technology. There's so many opportunities for tech companies in the construction space.
That makes sense.
Everybody sees all these opportunities. They have absolutely no construction experience. Right. They see cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And listen, is there cha-ching? Cha-ching in construction when it comes to technology? There is the opportunity for that for sure. But one of the mistakes that I see these companies make is not bringing on people who have construction experience. One of the first companies I did consulting work for, I was really surprised. Like, they had a great idea, but they came to me and I was like, just like first conversation, I'm like, okay, what about this? And they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's like, for one of the things in especially what I do in walls and ceilings is it's called a UL design. So everything, especially in multifamily, that is built has a UL design, meaning that it has been tested, especially for fire and fireproof and fire resistance.
So and what does UL stand for?
Underwriters Laboratory. Oh. So when you have a new product, you go to Underwriters Laboratory and you say, okay, use my product to construct this wall and then set that bad boy on fire. Ooh. And we gonna make sure that it lasts an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, however long you're trying to make your product stay intact for. Like, you present it to them, they put it together, set it on. Yeah, so it stops the spread of fire. And there's smoke barriers and fire barriers and all kinds of different barriers, and there's all kinds of different products. And a UL design is the number one thing for me and what I do that we have to pay attention to. We have to build the walls with the exact products that they specify in the exact way that they specify. It's a really important thing. So this one company, the first company that hired me, comes to me, it's like, oh, you have this great product. And I was like, all right, what ULs does it meet? Huh? they're like
me. What is a UL?
What's that? And I was like, oh my God. And so
absolutely not.
I tell you this story not to throw shame on them. They were obviously smart enough to call me and hire somebody to consult them. But that is the standard practice. These tech companies have absolutely no construction experience. They see an opportunity and they don't know enough about how that opportunity will actually work in the real world in construction. And so I see that all the time. And so this is kind of a story about that. It's about a tech company who came up with this really brilliant idea where you can design your home online and it could be built in a very short period of time. So this is also a thing. So there's something called prefab homes. They're like, people have a really bad perception of manufactured homes because they think that they're all trailers, but that's not necessarily the truth. Like, they're just essentially homes that are built inside of a warehouse and shipped.
Is that like the modular homes?
Modular homes is another one. They're kind of built in like shippable pieces and they kind of go together like Legos. And one thing we see a lot of in multifamily is something called panelized, where it's not necessarily the entire thing is constructed in a warehouse, but the walls are constructed. So like you don't have a framing crew out there like stick building. They construct all the walls, they come out, they get craned up and installed, and it makes it move really fast. So that is a thing. And not all of those things are shady or unrealistic or are, you know, a tech company trying to sell you, you know, used goods. It is, they have a warehouse, they have a factory, they have a facility, and these products are made in the facility and they are shipped either fully constructed or partially constructed. And that saves time in the construction of these homes. This was not that. And so one of the things I want you guys to look at when something like this comes, you know, along your feed, if you're looking to build a new home and you see something like this and they say, okay, you know, because of technology, we're using technology to make these things faster and better. Okay, well, but how? Do you have a warehouse where you're constructing these things? The reality is that technology is not going to build a house faster. Unless there is a warehouse. Maybe they're using robots. I don't know, but it still has to be built somewhere and then brought to your property in order for it to move faster. There's no technology in the world that, unless it is being built in a factory somewhere and shipped, is going to slow down the timeline of your property. And I probably jumped the gun a little bit on telling you that, but whatever.
That's okay.
So in this whole thing, they would, you'd log onto a website, you would choose the land, you would pick the floor plan, you select the faucets, the cabinets, the flooring, and then the company behind the platform tells you something almost heard of in construction, which is your brand new construction home will be built in 6 months, which is completely and totally unheard of. On this show, we have shared stories of remodels taking a year. So an entire new construction house from, you know, undeveloped land to move-in ready being 6 months, that is unheard of, and that is 100% a red flag. Many homeowners in the New York Hudson Valley, that promise sounded revolutionary. But according to multiple lawsuits, what some families actually got was something very different. A muddy pit in the ground, homes with flooded basements, incorrect electrical installation, 2-year delays, and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent. Today, we're looking at the controversy surrounding a tech startup called Welcome Homes and the homeowners who say the company turned their dreams into a nightmare.
So what's wild to me is, if you listen to our last episode, that company was started in 2020. You want to guess when this company was started?
Was it 2020, Jess?
It was 2020.
Oh my God. It feels like people were sitting around doing nothing during the pandemic and we're like, how can I scam people out of their stimulus checks?
So today we're diving into the lawsuits surrounding Welcome Homes, a tech startup founded in 2020 by DigitalOcean executives Alec Hartman, Mark Hartman, and Ben. I'm not even going to try to say his name.
I saw that name and I was like, absolutely not.
Uretsky. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh yeah, you were a teacher. You can read better than me.
It's phonetically, I'm sounding it out phonetically. If it's wrong, don't come for me.
I mean, don't come for us at all, Ben.
Their idea was digitizing home building. By some homeowners, say technology promised didn't match the reality.
So Welcome Homes positions itself as a PropTech disruptor, which is a property technology, in case you didn't know what PropTech was, because I didn't. PropTech disruptor. Their platform allowed buyers to design homes online, purchase land, select finishes, and track the build digitally. The company promoted bold promises: a custom home completed in about 6 months.
So, like, I mean, it's great that everything can be done online. And I understand, like, in 2020, well, it'd be great, right?
It would be great.
And in 2020, when, like, you couldn't go out and see things. So, like, you'd be like, oh, yeah, this makes sense. But now I'm thinking about, I'm like, I would want to see things,
100%.
touch
Yeah. Yeah.
and like know what the materials were and what everything was. I don't want to do, like, there's a lot of things I want to do online. Like, I hate going to the store.
Oh my God.
I
hate it.
Things are disorganized.
Yeah.
Costco drives me nuts because they keep rearranging where they put stuff.
They
and
really
nobody
do.
Not
Nobody
a single
knows.
person knows what aisle it is.
Costco employees are like, I don't know, man. Just like, good luck.
Good. Like, up north, we used to have a BJ's membership. And on the sides of every aisle, they would label the things that
They've
were
given up on that. They're like, well, it used to be here.
Costco, not so much. They're like, no, ma'am, you can go up and down every aisle because we hope you find something else that you didn't even know that you wanted. Like $150 chocolate bunny. I did not buy the $150 chocolate bunny.
She did send me a message. It was like, who buys $150 bunny? And I was like, social media influencers.
Yeah. I threatened my husband to buy 2 for our girls.
I'm sure he was like, Jess, I swear to God.
He's like, you better not.
His forehead veins started popping.
But what's funny is that I went to Costco like weeks later, and still the same bunnies were
nobody's
there.
spending.
And
in this economy, $150 chocolate bunny.
I'm like, I'm going to wait
Who
till
are
after
we, the
Easter
Rockefellers?
when they're like $10.
When they're $22.50.
Sorry.
Side quest.
Side questing it.
All right. So a custom home completed in about 6 months, which is lies that somebody told you. The timeline was dramatically faster than typical custom builds. Industry averages often exceed a year, especially for a custom home. You can be looking at 2 years because, like, for it to be done right, fast is slow and slow is fast, y'all. Like, you got to take your time to do it right. And I'm not saying it should take 2 years, but if you have a really complicated house, it could take up to 2 years. But for buyers, especially tech-savvy professionals, the idea of a streamlined digital home building process was appealing. And that appeal helped Welcome Homes attract venture capital by 2022. The company had raised about $29 million in funding, which is like low-key terrifying. But behind the scenes, according to lawsuits of former employees, the construction process wasn't keeping up with the promises.
So by 2024, multiple lawsuits had been filed against the company. 3 cases involving 5 plaintiffs accused Welcome Homes of fraud, breach of contract, and delivering faulty or incomplete homes. One of the most detailed cases involves Rena and Miriam Adams, a couple who wanted to leave their Brooklyn townhome and move their family upstate. They signed a contract with Welcome Homes in July 2022. Their plan: a
4,600 square foot house
on 5 acres.
How many children do you have? That is a huge house.
I'm like, I could fit.
But then again, if you got Brooklyn townhouse kind of money, you can afford a 4,600 square foot
They're like,
house.
oh, I'm going to take this little tiny townhouse. And like, they probably in their mind couldn't even really fathom what 4,600 square feet.
Real,
they
though.
were just these little.
Yeah.
I mean, their townhome probably was a lot of
Probably
square feet.
substantial.
But it was probably all
4,600 square feet is also
in 5 acres.
Substantial.
Oh, the model was called the Oasis 4 Grand.
So grand.
It sounds so luxurious.
So fancy.
Fancy pants.
For the tune of $1.132 million. Like, you guys.
But like think about like the size of that house.
Oh, that honestly
And 5
is
acres.
wildly underpriced. Like wildly underpriced. And actually they end up spending something like over $2 million to build it's a 3,500 square foot house for $2 million for it to be what they wanted at the end of the day, because we'll get to it. But so
because I would imagine that they want all luxury finishes too. So like this is the math ain't math.
The math ain't math. And that was like the first red flag is like, okay, they're about $2 million under on the price that they sold this house for.
So they paid the initial deposit of $113,000. Under their contract, the house was supposed to be completed within 7 months after the building permit was issued. But that has not that's not what happened.
No,
it is not. And I feel very bad.
Yeah, it does suck for them. So according to court filings, the Adams family waited months for their construction to begin by June of 2023. Now, mind you, it was May of 2022 that they went under contract. So they're a full year from when they went under contract to when the permits had still not even been pulled. Welcome Homes had still not obtained the building permits. I watched a video about this, and apparently the homeowner eventually goes into the inspection department and is like, hey, what's the permitting department? It was like, what's going on? Why hasn't the permit been pulled? And they're like, oh, we've been trying to contact this builder for 6 months. There's one document that needs to be signed. So, which is just, again, just because you know how to use technology does not mean you know how to build things. So by September of 2023, more than a year after signing the contract, the site reportedly contained over-cleared land and a 4-foot hole in the ground. That was it. No house, just a pit. And the Adams family ended up terminating their contract in 2023 after they themselves are the ones who got the permits. So eventually they just got the permits themselves and were like, okay, Welcome Homes, build the house. And then Welcome Homes apparently over-cleared the lot, which I don't exactly know what that means, but they over-cleared it.
They were probably allowed to only clear so many trees.
And they went over. That. Okay.
Because in those upstate areas, like I know where my aunt and uncle are not in New York, but like they are not allowed to
like disrupt the land that they're not allowed. So they give them like, okay, you're allowed to disrupt this much land.
They have such a much buffer between
the other house.
Like they can't subdivide their space because it has to be so many acres. So like they probably told them, you can't.
Yeah. So
and
they overcleared the land and then they just left them with this mud pit. So there was just a pit, no house. They terminated the contract. And here's what gets me. So they had paid $113,000 of a deposit. The only things, they did not even get the permits themselves. The homeowner got the permits. The only thing they had done was clear the house, the land. They had not put in the undergrounds. They had not built, the foundation. None of that was done. So they had paid $113,000, was essentially they needed some of that money back. So Welcome Homes turns around and sends them a bill for another $200,000+ and says, okay, well, if you're going to cancel your contract, then you owe us this money. And the homeowners were like,
absolutely
for
not.
What?
No.
So yeah, it was $212,164, according to the New York Post. Their lawsuit now seeks more than $2.8 million in damages.
That's insane. So they're like, oh, you're going to cancel your contract, but you didn't read the fine print. You still owe us more money for canceling it.
And they were like, oh, we owe you money. How about this $2.8 million lawsuit, just for funsies?
Oh my gosh. And the Adams family wasn't the only one.
Oof.
Other lawsuits describe similar problems. In one case, homeowners William and Erin Sloan claimed they waited years for a house that was supposed to only take months. During that time, they reportedly paid mortgage loan extensions, about $30,000 in interest while waiting for the bill to finish. Their lawsuit also described multiple construction errors. Subcontractors allegedly,
this makes me laugh,
allegedly installed the wrong windows, placed an electrical box in the wrong location, and then attempted to hide mistakes with insulation.
Insulation, you guys. Like, what? Just put some insulation in it. It'll be fine.
You'll never know. You'll never see it. It's fine.
They never know.
Another homeowner claimed their Welcome Homes took over 2 years to finish, despite the 7-month timeline. I mean, I don't understand how people really thought that, like, these houses of this size and the land that needed to be cleared was only going to take a couple months. Like, is it just wishful thinking?
I guess so.
At one point, that homeowner said they had to personally manage the subcontractors on site every day. When the home was finally completed, they discovered another major issue. The sump pump had been installed incorrectly, causing the basement to flood.
Of course it did.
Now, listen, you need
Oh yeah. If you have a basement, you need a sub pump. Like especially in North Carolina, we don't really do basements, but every once in a while your lot will like the only way it makes sense is to have a basement. One of the things we see a lot is like so elevator pits, they go deep into the ground. And so every single elevator pit in the state of North Carolina, I guarantee you, has a sub pump because our soil is very moist. So one of the things I thought was really interesting was the HGTV connection. So the company's credibility also came from a surprising source. In 2021, Anthony Carino, a former HGTV host of Kitchen Cousins, which I used to love that show, and I know exactly who Anthony is. He's a real snack. Sorry. Joined the Welcome Homes as the vice president of design for the company. Carino brought major recognition. He had more than 25 years of experience in construction and design, but Carino left the company in January of 2024. And when asked why, he gave very blunt explanations. He said that the founder had a direction they wanted to pursue that did not align with construction best practices. And here's the thing, he wouldn't listen to Anthony. So like Anthony comes in as the expert in construction and is like, hey, you have great tech ideas and that's great, but here's how construction actually works. And these are the best practices that we have to meet. And he was like, nah, that doesn't work. So Anthony ended up leaving.
And Anthony's probably the reason why they got a bunch of
$29 million of funding plus a bunch of clients because people are like, okay, guys,
this is legit.
I hate like, listen, and I'm not throwing shade on Anthony. I've never met him. He seems like a pretty legit guy. He left for the right reasons. But I cannot stress this to you enough as someone who almost had an HGTV show twice. I have seen behind that curtain to the point where it's like genuinely scary. These people frequently have absolutely no experience. That they are on these shows because maybe they worked in construction or maybe they did a home renovation for themselves and now they feel emboldened. And if they're cute, they gonna end up on a TV show. Like, it is wild how these TV shows come to pass. And there has actually been so many legal cases against HGTV, against the shows, against the contractors. There have even been claims against people on Chip and JoJo's new network, whatever it is, on whatever channel it's on. But they have their own network now, and they had this one show where this family turned a church. So they had their own home, and they turned a church into their house. So they renovated the church, and that made them qualified to be contractors. They did qualified to have an HGTV show or whatever, Chip and JoJo's network show. Ended up getting the bejesus suit out of them. The show removed from the network. Like, just because someone has a TV show does not mean that they know what they're doing. And that seems ridiculous to say, right? Because like, why would this be on TV? And I will quote you, it's called TV magic. When I was talking with the producers of the show, we went so far as filming a pilot. And when we were in that process, they would say TV magic all the time. And I was like, TV magic is the problem. And I'm honestly so grateful that we did not get the show because I wouldn't have had control over the TV things that they made seem like, oh, this is normal, and it's actually TV magic. And so
you would have been fired.
Oh my God!
Let's be honest.
They'd have been like, Mikki, we're replacing.
We had to remove Mikki because
Mikki is no longer with us. So
we had creative differences.
We had creative differences, as one does. So he also said that one thing to note is that Anthony is not accused of any wrongdoing, but one thing that he noted was that only one customer was living in a completed Welcome Homes when he left, despite them having dozens of contracts. So that's something really important to notice. This guy had been with the company since 2021, and he left in 2024.
3 years.
And when he left, now this is a company that is selling their houses, saying, hey, we can build this house in 6 months. He was there for 4 years.
Well, he was there for 3
For 3 years. They've been in business for 4 years. They had only completed one home. And
that's
he was
a red
like,
flag.
And I could just see, like, obviously I am adding my own spin on this, but I could just see this guy going in and talking with the tech bros and being like, hey, this isn't how construction works. And they're like, it's fine. It will be fine. Don't worry about it. We're doing this anyway. And eventually he was like, I'm not going to get tied up with this.
I'm not going to get sued.
Yeah. He pieced out
He
and
was
was
like,
like, hey,
no.
by the way, just so everybody knows, they've only completed one house.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So a former employee told the New York
Be
Post.
leaking leaks.
They're like, they're not paying me enough to stay quiet. Thank you. You know what? I actually don't like them that much. I will spill the tea. I don't actually know if that's the case.
We don't know. Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm just putting my own creative spin on that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
A former employee told the New York Post that many of the company's problems came from leadership decisions.
From tech bros.
According to that source, the CEO
Allegedly.
ignored advice from experienced construction professionals. Key operational roles were reportedly never filled.
Jesus.
For example, the company allegedly leaked a procurement manager.
Lacked. They
Oh,
lacked.
lacked. Sorry. They didn't leak it. They
Normally
lacked
I
it.
wouldn't correct her. Like, I would just roll with it. But I did just want you to know it was lacked. There was no leak.
There was no leak. They lacked it. I just can't read today. It's fine. The person responsible for getting materials to job sites. I'm glad that there's a definition there because I didn't know what that was.
That's a good one.
Architects were also reportedly pushed to produce home plans quickly without enough time to finish them properly, which meant contractors sometimes received incomplete or confusing designs.
Well, listen, that does happen all the daggone time.
Yeah.
I'll get these plans. I got this plan. I was working on this set of plans, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and I called the general contractor and I was like, who's drinking? Am I drunk? Or was the architect drunk? Are we all drunk? Did I breathe? Did I breathe in mushrooms by accident? Like, what's happening? These plans were nonsensical. And he was like, yeah, you're like the 5th person that's called us today. I was like, okay, well, at least I'm not. It happens a lot. And so not giving an architect enough time to like make sure everything is like fully written appropriately and is like fully okay is a really big thing. So that it's funny because they were pushing so hard the architect, but then it seems like they didn't push anybody else. So here's one thing that I thought was really interesting. Is Welcome Homes still operating? And the answer to that is yes, which is why we have so many disclaimers in this that no wrongdoing has been proved. Don't come for us, Welcome Homes.
Just alleged.
This is all alleged. But one thing I think is really interesting is that they have changed their model. They no longer manage construction directly. Instead, it connects customers with third-party contractors to build their homes. I actually went on their website and saw that, and I thought that was like so. Okay, let me just finish this and then I'll get into my thoughts. The company's website no longer advertises guaranteed pricing or timelines for the building homes. The lawsuit against the companies also remain ongoing. So listen, if you have a technology idea, that's great. Bring it to construction. See if the people who know how to build things can make it work. If you have absolutely no experience in construction, that is not, you don't just wake up one day and decide you have an idea and then you're a contractor. I have said this on so many of our podcasts and I will say it again. You have to have experience or you have to hire someone with experience. And then if you hire someone with experience, you have to actually listen to them. It's funny that he shared, the Anthony guy from HGTV shared that he basically was beefing, if you will, with the CEO because he's saying, hey, this isn't how construction works. And the guy's like, no, we'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I have worked with so many people who had absolutely no experience. Some of them were like the company I was telling you about with the ULs. When I told them about the ULs, yes, they had absolutely no idea what they were, but they also paid attention and were like, thank you for sharing this with me. Let me take this back to my team and see what we can do with it. They employed that knowledge and that advice that I gave them. It's like a year or so ago, I was working with a person who couldn't pass the general contractor's exam. And so we were working together and she had absolutely no experience. I'm going to say she had good intentions. But she also didn't want to learn. And so that became a real problem where eventually I was like, okay, I'm out. Because when you have this idea of like, hey, I want to come into the construction industry, I want to disrupt the market, I want to do things differently, that's great. There's a lot of room in construction for that. But if you yourself are not interested in one, either learning how construction works and getting the experience and putting the time in and putting the effort in, then you have to hire somebody who has those things. And this is the key part, guys, you have to listen to them.
Yes.
And so if you bring, like this person brought me in because she couldn't pass the general contractor's exam. Just so we're clear about one thing, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the general contractor's exam. The general contractor's exam exists to be a barrier for people who don't know enough about construction to pass that exam. So if somebody just can't pass that exam, it doesn't mean they're neurodivergent. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean they're incapable of reading or they're not book smart or whatever spin you want to put on it. It means they don't have enough experience to pass those tests, to understand the terms, to understand how construction works. So, this chick brings me in. I'm advising her on like how construction works, and she didn't listen to anything I said. So I pieced out because I was like, listen, you're not going to cost me my license because you don't know how construction works. And that's exactly what happened to Welcome Homes. So like, it's great to bring technology into the industry. We need it. But you have to do things in a way that makes sense. And you have to work with people that know what they're doing. And this idea of like construction, I'm just going to be a contractor one day. That's just not how it works.
And like, I feel like you need, if you're going to be the tech side of stuff, you need a subject matter expert for what you're trying, the problem you're trying to solve. You need someone there to be like, yes, that can work. No, this can't work. I mean,
yeah.
It's the same in all industries. If you're going to try to fix something, you need to know how it works. And what could possibly be a fix.
Right. And again, I don't want to discourage people from trying to solve problems in construction, but this company has created more problems than they have solved. And now they're not even, offering to build the houses. They're essentially offering you can design your home online, you can pick your finishes online, and then we will connect you with a general contractor who can build your house, which I'm going to be honest is smart. It is smart. Like ish. Because then you still have to vet that general contractor. Just because they are recommending a general contractor does not mean that you don't have to do everything we have told you guys to do. You have to research them. You have to check their licenses. Don't assume that just because this company is recommending them that they've done that work. You have to check to see if they have judgments against them. You have to do all the things that we have told you guys on all these episodes about. But it makes a lot more sense than a tech company trying to build houses. They understood after a couple of years, I guess, and several lawsuits that
4 years and a few lawsuits.
Just a few lawsuits that they are not capable of actually producing these homes. So now they have the process, but they're farming that out to other general contractors. Like you said earlier, I would like to see the finishes. I would like to put my hands on the product. So selecting that online, I feel like
I like to be because like if the handle doesn't feel good,
if it's not a good grab, you gotta have a good grab,
or like it's too little, or
or like you're bear claws for hands,
daintily grab and I don't know. It's a whole
I'm
very sensory.
And I guess some people aren't, and they're just like, just put the house, build the house, put the things in it. I don't care. So this is an option for those people.
There you go.
But absolutely not should somebody who has no construction experience be building houses. No. Again, we can't stress this enough. So let's talk about some of the red flags.
Yes, let's.
Red flag number 1, guaranteed timelines for building. Now, Nicole is one of our favorite kitchen and bathroom remodeling general contractors that comes on the show, and she has a guaranteed timeline for her renovations. Because this is all this woman does is kitchen and bathroom, mostly bathroom, but also kitchen renovations. She has a formula. She can walk into your house. She's building in contingency. She's building in time for like oopsie whoopsies that she might find when they tear the shower out. She has a timeline. She's like, I'm going to get it done in this amount of time. That is a bathroom renovation. There is no guaranteed timeline for a new construction home. There's just so many things that are outside of your control. How long it takes to get permits. If there's problems, like there was this one project we were working on and it got delayed by a year because after they bought the land, they discovered that there was a bunch of granite underground.
Oh, goodness.
And so they had to blast like with dynamite.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Boom.
For a year in order to be able to put the undergrounds in for this neighborhood.
I'd be like, we're just going to cover this back up. We'll go try
Just be
somewhere
like,
else.
let's sell this land to somebody else and it's not our problem. I get it. So there's all kinds of things that happen that could push a timeline. So when any builder, especially for a new construction build, is coming at you with a timeline guarantee, that is a huge red flag. You should be like, how come nobody else is doing that? Do you want to do the second flag?
Sure. Second flag, the tech founders without construction background. Software experience doesn't equal construction experience.
How many times?
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, Susan. Like, I can't. So this is my biggest pet peeve in the entire industry is people waking up one day and being like, I'm a general contractor now.
Tomorrow I'm going to text you and say, I'm going to be a general contractor.
You should wake up and be like, hey, guess what? I just decided, new business idea. I'm a general contractor now.
It's me.
Here's the thing. That happens every single day. Every single day in just the state of North Carolina and all over the daggone world. Somebody wakes up and they're like, you know what?
And I'm going to be an
general
interior
contractor
designer.
now.
Interior designer and general contractor.
And a project manager. And I do all the things. And I'm all the things. And I'm so great. Let me tell you all the reasons why. And a lot of times these people can talk a really good game. And they hit all, they know all the buzzwords. And they know all the things to say. Because ChatGPT told them. They actually have no idea how construction works. And that is where using that judgment of, okay, this is a great idea, but how much experience of boots on the ground, of hands on the tools, of doing the actual work do you have? And if the answer is none, then the answer is we're not going to go with you as a contractor. That is a must. And it doesn't have to be, I've been a general contractor for 25 years. It could be, hey, I used to work for a general contractor. I was the superintendent or I was the project manager, and I learned everything about the construction industry from working with a general contractor. Yeah. And then I decided to start my own thing. Absolutely. Because you have experience. You have seen it done. You know how it works.
You have been trained.
You have been trained. So many stories that people write in on our channel is about, oh, they had really great social media. Oh, they one of the most common ones is they were so confident. Okay. That's great. Show me the money, honey. I want to see the years of experience that you worked in construction, and not hosting events in construction, or not, I go to networking events, or not, oh yes, I once managed a project for somebody else's job.
Or yes, I own this company,
right?
Yet I don't do any of the work.
Yet we don't do any work. Yet we have no revenue. That's another interesting one to ask. I was just thinking about this the other night. When you're talking to a general contractor, how much in revenue do you do every year? I want to see that. Listen, that has to go on your tax return. I want to see what your revenue was on your tax return. If it's zero, don't walk, run. Don't walk, run. And if they have some reason as to why, like, oh, I just started my company. Okay, check that out. I know this person who owns a general contractor company. They've been in business for a couple of years, 0 projects, 0 money in revenue, but they out here in these streets selling the crap out of it. Now, luckily, nobody's buying yet, but eventually some poor person is going to, because they don't watch the Chicks in Construction. They don't know the things that you need to check out. So
that's why you have to send this to everybody that you know that's going to do
your
a renovation.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
So
let's see.
On this one, obviously, we talk a lot about deposits, but one thing I think where this is a little tricky is I actually don't think the deposit that they were asking for was crazy high, because especially for the one couple that it was like over $1 million, they only asked for $113,000
so it's like 10%
of a deposit, which is 10%, which is actually pretty reasonable. I think in this case, what was really the red flag was the timeline, and 2, after they canceled the contract, they turned around and asked for another $200,000.
I mean, another red flag was their construction mistakes being hidden. And
that's tricky, because like, how would you as a homeowner know that? But it's one of those things where it's like, if you're seeing like, oh, I went out there yesterday and they had put the electrical box in the wrong place, and I went out today and the electrical box just has insulation put in it. Like, that seems, if your gut is telling you something's off here, trust your gut.
Yeah.
The other
it's
one,
okay to ask questions.
Yeah, please ask all the questions. Be annoying. Ask all the questions, because it's going to cost you a lot of money to not ask those questions. The other one is homeowners forced to manage with some contractors. And this actually happens in so many of our horror stories, where like one of the ones a couple weeks ago was she had a list in her phone of all of the things that needed to get done and all the mistakes that it made. And she said it was vast. So if you're finding yourself in a position where you're the one tracking the materials, you're the one tracking the work, you're the one paying attention to the schedule, you're the one who knows what's happening on the job, and your builder doesn't, that is a major red flag. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be, because we had a homeowner horror story where they kind of wrote in where they were still in. No, it wasn't a write-in. It was, they hired me to come in as do a little consulting for them. And I don't know if it was because they hired me, but they ended up being able to work it out with the general contractor.
Oh, that's good.
So it ended really well. They were really happy with the build, but halfway through it, they were panicked and they came to me and were like, hey, can you help me? And I was like, I'll try. So,
but if you don't have a Mikki in your life.
If you don't have a Mikki in your life, which very few do, you definitely need to be wary of, if you're running the job site, something is wrong there. So, in closing,
what started as a bold idea to revolutionize home building ended up in courtrooms.
And it's a reminder of something every experienced builder knows. Construction is hard. And I can't say that enough. Construction is hard, and you have to know what you're doing. You can't simply design the process and expect everything to work perfectly, because at the end of the day, homes aren't built by software. They're built by people, experienced people, hopefully. And when that process breaks down, the consequences can be devastating. And that, like, this is just something I see over and over again. Lack of experience, people who they just woke up one day and decided, I'm a general contractor. Okay, so when you're hiring somebody, you want to know, how many years of experience do you have? Where did you get that experience from? Is it, oh, I worked, I did an internship. I worked for a general contractor. I worked with my family business. There's a lot of different ways that somebody can learn how construction works. But construction is complex, and it requires a level of understanding that, listen, guys, you're not going to get this from a book. You're not going to get this from a YouTube channel. You get it by hands-on learning. I have spent 20 plus years in this industry, and there are a lot of claims that I am not even willing to make because I don't feel like I have that level of experience. I have been working specifically in multifamily construction for more than half of my 20 plus years in construction. And a couple of months ago, somebody came to me and they were like, hey, we want to do an all-women apartment complex, like using all women trades. And I was like, that's great. Who's the general contractor? And she was like, oh, it's so-and-so with, this company. And I was like, she does renovations like that. Oh my God, y'all, there are levels to knowledge and understanding. And it is great that this woman is out here doing renovations, and I support her and I think she's amazing and I want her to continue to do renovations. That does not make her qualified to do a new construction multifamily building. These are people's lives that we are talking about. And, with this tech company, these are people's lives that we are talking about. It's their lives. The house could literally fall in on them. That has happened. We don't want it to happen, but it can. It is also their livelihoods. So many of these stories end in hundreds of thousands of dollars that these people have lost and they cannot recoup. Now, again, as we've said in the beginning, none of these lawsuits have come to completion. I do think that $2.8 million, I read a little bit about it. I don't think they're going to get that money, because essentially what they're trying to recoup is the cost to build their new house. So they went under construction with Welcome Homes to build a 4,600 square foot home for just over $1 million.
Right.
They ended up building a 3,500 square foot home for just over $2 million.
On the same land?
On the same land.
Oh, well, that's good.
So they're trying to turn around and say, you need to pay us for the entire cost of our home build because you didn't build our house the way you said you were going to. And I'm just going to tell you, as somebody who has spent more time than I'd like dealing with lawyers, that's just not how that works.
You get your money back for the deposit that you paid.
Right. I think they could legitimately get their deposit money back, but for them to sue Welcome Homes because they had to pay another builder to build their excessively large house, that's just not how law works. But good on you for trying. I will say that the other lawsuits in the case, like that have been filed, are a lot more legitimate. Like they're all less, like $500,000 or less, and they're just trying to recoup the costs of money that they spent when it took 2 years instead of 6 months for living in apartments. You know, like for the temporary housing.
You probably sold or got your house under contract,
right?
Or you were like, told your landlord, hey, I only need another 6 months.
And I'm going to be living the good life in my fancy house. So that I do think, like, to be fair and balanced, I do think that amount is really ridiculous. But it is important to know, like, if somebody's coming to you with a great technological idea, that's great. We love that. But you need to make sure that the people behind building it actually have that experience. So if you have had a similar experience or a homeowner horror story of your own, we would love for you to go to our website, chicksandconstruction.com, to share that with us. You just scroll a little bit down. You can fill out the form. You don't even have to send us an email. We got you. We'll take your story. We'll take your story if you're a general contractor and you want to rat on your clients. We'll take your story if you know of a lady down the street who had a really bad experience. Because the whole thing is, the more stories that we can share with our audience, that is growing. Thank you for liking and subscribing. The better experience they're going to have when they have to do a renovation, when they're going to hire a contractor. And that's really important. And that is what we care about. So Jess, where can they find us on the socials?
On Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, it's at Chicks and Construction Podcast. On TikTok, it's at Chicks and Construction.
All right, guys. Remember, like and subscribe. We love you. Thanks for joining us. Bye.